everybody? Well, it might be afternoon at this point. I slept in from the fantastic Siloam Springs, America, back in the great state of Arkansas. Not your Kansas, it's Arkansas. Well, I got a bat signal thrown up to me to come rescue a family C-10 truck that we've got. Had it forever. Dad's had it for, I don't know, mid-90s or so. Beautiful short bed Chevy, small block 350. Pretty common setup, but it hasn't run since January. So got the phone call, flew in, and unfortunately without having a GoPro or whatnot, it would have been a pretty boring video, but had an inline fuse holder that powered the HEI distributor. It had popped, 15 amp fuse, for some reason it popped. And our beautiful, man, it's a beautiful day out here. Coming from South Carolina, 95% humidity and just nasty as all get out. Come here and it's 80s, mid 80s, late. I don't know, the last couple of days have been absolutely ridiculous. Like no humidity, beautiful. I went for a 5-mile walk last night. Coming to a little downtown Siloam Springs, America. Anyway, as you see, I'm driving Goldie, as we call it. Dad bought this thing from a co-worker or something forever ago. Put a crate motor in it. Got it painted. Looks pretty. Anyway, got the... So I don't want to run over folks here, because I will. Got it running, and then immediately it started overheating. So at some point in this journey, somebody put a radiator in it, because it was bone stock. They put a motor in it in 98. Everything on it was from 98, which is cool because it survived. You know, you didn't commute in it or drive it a ton. More of a Sunday, once a month kind of thing. It gets, you know, single digit gas mileage. Went through a quadra junk, which needs to be swapped out for probably that new Sniper 2 setup that Holly just came out with, a self-contained learnable fuel injection. That really needs to be put on this thing to make it almost an everyday driver. Anyway, I asked what was going on with the radiator being brand new, and finally told me it actually had overheated. And so when we got it running and it was just idling in the garage, sitting at like 210, creeping, so I turned it off, got up underneath it. It was leaking coolant. I didn't know if it was residual from something, you know, so threw a thermostat in it because it was frozen solid. Put like 190 degree stamp thermostat in it. Thought I had an easy fix on that. Not so much. So crawled back underneath it, you know, coolant's dripping through the crank pulleys, so the weep hole was doing its job. Well, so I thought. Anyway, also when it was, you know, sitting at 1500, 2000 RPM, there was a kind of a metallic sound, like a rattle, not like a motor rattle, but like an accessory rattle. And when we started digging, I grabbed a hold of the fan, and there was ½ inch of play, you know, fore and aft with the radiator, or with the fan. And so the bearing had let go, which in turn ate the seal on the water pump, and it was pissing all over the place. So headed up to the local AutoZone. Of course, they had literally everything. So while I was in there, I did belts and hoses, and it's had, unfortunately, a local shop here that, I don't know, did a screaming job on throwing a Band-Aid at something they didn't even diagnose. They just threw a radiator in it and thought that was the problem, which if they would have taken 15 seconds to crawl underneath the truck, would have seen it leaking all over the place. So long story long, we put a thermostat, a water pump, upper and lower hoses, lower hose, 3 new belts. They were still okay, but starting to crack a little bit. And so got it running, burped the system, refilled everything. It's sitting at 190 like it's supposed to, sitting right on the nose. It's as happy as a lark, just chilling. Great oil pressure, charging. This thing only has, I'm gonna assume, it says 15,900. I'm gonna assume it's only rolled over once as 115,000, just because it was a local truck, bought out of Springdale, Arkansas. He still has every bit of the paperwork from the purchase order from the original owner, except for the window sticker, which GM is now reproducing those as of the last couple of years, which is cool. So I'm gonna get the window sticker, original window sticker. This is a saddle beige over something, I don't know, caramel or something. It's 15 shades of brown, which I'm a fan of. I'm an 80s kid in that regard, so I actually absolutely love the color combination on it. And it's essentially bone stock. I'll do a walk around on it whenever I get to a place I can do that. So we're gonna head back up to AutoZone. It's still rocking R12 for the AC system, and unfortunately from sitting it has leaked down, and so that's my next quest, is to figure out, I know I can get the retrofit kit for the fittings for the high and low side, but I got to figure out what I need to do. If I got to flush the system, I don't know what I need to do. So got any suggestions, you know, throw them down in the comments, or, you know, shoot me a private message. But yeah, this is a cool truck, and I'm glad to get it up and running. It's antique tagged. It got grandfathered in. Arkansas had changed the antique tag laws from 25 years to 45-year-old vehicle, which is a bummer, but he had already had it tagged as an antique, and so it got grandfathered in, which is cool. So we'll just keep the tags on it for now. It's going to live in Arkansas for a while, and I want him to be able to enjoy it, because it was literally just broke down inside the garage, which is a bummer. So, but like I said, I'll do a quick walk around and we'll look under the hood. That's a pretty clean old truck. Still does pretty nice burnout. I'll kind of show you the mark yesterday. He just put tires on it this morning, so I figured I would use up the last of its life on the old tires. I looked at the old tires. Date coded 03. Yeah, it's 2023 right now. So 20-year-old tires, but then again, he wasn't really using it, so yeah. So I'm gonna drop this stuff off to AutoZone. I'll park and we'll do a quick walk around for you. Yeah, let's do a quick walk around. So hopefully don't get shadows everywhere. It's a pretty clean old truck. Like I said, 84 C-10, small block 350. See if I can blind you with the sun. But pretty honest truck. Not a lot of these have rocker rot down in there and cab corner issues. This one has a little bit of tiny bit of rust, but it got painted years and years ago by buddy Ben at Diamond Auto Body. Did a phenomenal job on it. But yeah, it cleans up nice, it shows nice. It's a 10-footer for sure. Get up on it, you start noticing dents and dings, but it presents very well. Let's see if we can. This is the extent of the rot right there, which is, you know, some guys would dream about that, but it clean. Had a camper shell on it up until Dad bought it. I still have the receipt from '86 for the guy had bought it at a local place in Springdale. But seat got recovered years ago. It's still pretty decent. The dash is starting to crack like they all do. It's actually pulling back a little bit. The replacements are pretty crappy, and the covers don't look too good. Those are starting to get flaky, and of course both of them are falling off on that. Headliners, it's phenomenal shape. I got to get a new lens for it, but it's a clean rig, really is. Just sits in the garage, and we threw some tires on it the other day after that nasty burnout that I did over at Donnie's house. So let's get a quick glance under the hood. But yeah, it's the mileage right there. All right. Like I said, I've seen a small block 350 from the 80s. You've seen them all. However, a little bit dusty there, but yeah, actually went above and beyond the normal for me, and I painted it, the water pump, and threw belt on it. Yeah, it's funny, you could grab a hold of this, and this had so much play. It was like clonk, 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 unfortunately. So yeah, that fuse holder right there is what killed it originally. It's still rocking R12. I got to do the retrofit kit on it. Still got jacks in there. I got to find the rest of the jack kit for it, but it's got some interesting options. So desert sand is what they call this. What is the other one? Saddle tan interior. desert sand, yada yada. Yeah, you guys see it. So color keyed, but no, it's not bad. It's not been hit. It's not nasty looking. But again, what saved this truck by far is it's sitting in a garage. It's essentially its whole life, so it still shines up real nice. I hadn't had a bit of wax on it in a long time, and went down a dirt road yesterday, so it's kind of over to Ben's house to do the rear main or output shaft seal on the transmission. It was weeping real bad, and so he let me use his lift, which I do appreciate. Donnie let me use the seal pullers, and so, you know, got a good community of friends and family back home, and it's nice to come home and visit with everybody and get have access to stuff that might not ultimately have access to. How about I just put this camera right in the sun? That would be fantastic. You know, pro editing and video skills. But yeah, figure you guys get a kick out of that. It's pretty. That's oldie goldie. Those are C-10 family heirloom. Yeah, so I'll do periodic updates. Still have what do I got to do? These shocks something fierce. So let's see. What else do I got to do to it? General maintenance. I bet you it could use to the power steering flushed on it. Probably the rear end needs to be cleaned up on it. Shocks probably do when I come home. I might do system flush on the motor and transmission. I don't know when the last time the transmission was cleaned up, but I'd really like to get the AC working for them. It worked up until a couple of years ago. Just I think it from not use, hot cold cycles, this that and the other. Yeah, it could use just a once over, maybe update it if need be. I'd hate to throw a compressor on it if this compressor works, and so I'd rather just flush the system and get R12 out of it and R134A into it. So figured kind of a cool look. Got to come home and piddle with the truck, and it's always fun to see the family support it and keep it around. You know, get multiple offers all the time to buy it, and it's just kind of neat that it stayed around. So anyway, that's that. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.